5 quarts of high-mileage Castrol GTX, Pennzoil, or Valvoline, and a qualifying premium oil filter for $28.99. Think ahead. Think Advance at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
This is Frank Frangie. Join Dan Hickett and me for All Things Gators, our podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Monday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gators Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
They walked in with this giant hose thing and this weird-looking mask.
I could not tolerate the mask. Clear and simple.
CPAP works for some people, but not everyone. That's why there's Inspire. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. If you're struggling with CPAP, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Testimonials are genuine and typical. Results may vary. Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Peace of mind. It's one of the most important things we can have, and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Mark Anajar from the Law Office of Anajar & Levine. Notifying the police is always a good idea. They can assist in documenting the accident and being a good source of information. Always put your health first and get medical attention if necessary. Take pictures if possible. If you've been in an accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Office in Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here telling you it's time to go. That's what the Nimnik folks say. It is time to go for all 2019 models. The new ones are going to be coming in. They've got to get those 2019 models off the lot. That means at Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassidy Park. It means at Nimnik Buick GMC, located at Phillips Highway, just off of I-295. They've got to clear the lot. So go right now to the best car dealerships in town because the 2019s have to go. That's Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Hey, life is crazy fast. Fuel up right with Fresh Fit sandwiches at Subway restaurants. Our better-for-you options include turkey breast, black forest ham, and sweet onion chicken teriyaki on wheat with all the veggies. Get Fresh Fit, only at Subway. Fresh Fit refers to 6-inch subs on 9-grain wheat bread with all the fresh vegetables. Fresh Fit subs are prepared in front of you and not a diet program. Please consult your doctor before commencing any exercise or weight loss program to ensure that your own individual health circumstances are taken into account.
New year, new models, new deals during your First Coast Acura Dealers Upgrade event. Steal your deal today with aggressive, affordable lease and financing offers and bundle your savings with bonus opportunities for loyalty and conquest customers. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
One-to-One Financial is not your typical credit union. We have lower fees and better rates, and we invest 100% in Jacksonville. But what really matters is that we believe all people, no matter their background, deserve respect and access. We work with everyone, one-to-one, right where they are. Join us today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar & Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
First 5 minutes of the second half, I had a pit in my stomach because our level of energy wasn't close to what it was in the first half. It just wasn't. We're jogging back in transition, getting dunked on, and they're scoring on us, and we're walking the ball up the court. Our flow was completely different. Credit them. They ran it right down our throats, a few possessions in the second half.
The comments of Florida head basketball coach Mike White following last night's 78-71 defeat by Mississippi State at home. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Andrew Gibson, and Lauren Brooks. I was worried yesterday because this team at times does not feel like they know what they're doing. There are just so many different times we'll watch them go through these droughts, or defensively they'll just have these lapses. And I was concerned yesterday. And unfortunately, my concerns proved true because Reggie Perry, a former McDonald's All-American, took over the game. And certainly that's what Mike White saw by his team in the second half.
A whole bunch of stuff I got about what's going wrong here. Number one, here's one lesson that Mike White needs to learn. And I hope you can't run off everybody that's played basketball because you got all these shiny new pieces. That was the biggie. I thought about this, and this isn't an excuse for Mike White. He's the one that did it. But he's playing Lewis, Mann, Glover, who are all
Payne,
who were true freshmen. Okay, they were in high school this time last year. Jatobo plays a little bit. He's also a true freshman. He's playing Nemhard, Locke, and Johnson, who are only true sophomores. And the only other guy that plays of note is Blackshear, who's a wonderful player, but he's not nearly the player we thought he was. And again, the sign should have been the NBA didn't want him. If the NBA had any interest, he would have been there. And I know Kentucky wanted him. I got to wonder, would he be doing much at Kentucky? And again, he's a good player. He's not a bad player. I don't want to misrepresent that. But
he'd probably be coming off the bench.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know their personnel. But yeah. But I'm watching last night. I'm thinking, are you really glad you ran off Keith Stone, who would have been a fifth-year senior on this team and has played a lot of basketball? Now I know he had the knee. I don't know when he would. I don't even know if he's playing wherever he went. Mike Akaru wasn't a great player, but he was a physical guy that played a lot of basketball. I think at some point you got to. That's the mistake. You're running off guys that played a lot of basketball. This team looks young and lost. So one lesson for Mike White is don't run off guys because of the shiny new pieces. Now, all of us fans could care less. We knew Stone wasn't all that good a player, just okay. Akara wasn't very good offensively at all. So we all were excited about running. Remember that? We were all excited they were running them off because we got the shiny new pieces. Well, the shiny new pieces had never played together before. That's part of it. Secondly, they do play tight. When that game started last night, they were free and easy. Scotty Lewis was letting them fly. Those high-arcing threes, it looked like they were free and easy last night. They were playing at a great tempo. They're off to this great start. So you ran off too many good players. I think they play tight. I think they play too tight. When that second half started, you could almost sense it, couldn't you? That, here we go. And Mississippi State was playing at a really good level. Here, where'd he land?
Miami.
Okay, so is he sitting out, I guess?
He's playing, but he hasn't played a ton.
Does he have he had the knee.
Yeah, his season high came in December against Temple with 13 points.
Okay, so he hadn't played very much. So maybe he wouldn't have helped him. But the point is, they've run off guys. Okay, here's the other thing, too. They play at an awful pace. They are slowpoke basketball, man. And part of that's the way Nemhard plays. You know they remind me of? They remind me of the Nick Calathis Gators. Nick Calathis was a 6'6" point guard. Good player, played in the NBA for a while. Was a good player. But they played slow, and he always had the ball in his hand. Remember, the ball didn't move with Calathis. Well, it doesn't move much with Nemhard either. He's always got the ball. The ball doesn't move. So, and again, that's coaching. That's on Mike, okay? That is on coaching. Again, let me be clear. I'm not running off the coach. I'm not going to totally change everything I've said about the coach because they lose one game. But I also don't want to be head in the sand, stubborn, militant guy that I was right, so I'm not changing my mind guy. I don't want to be that guy either. This is a flawed team. And nobody can shoot. I've never seen so many bad shooters on one team, and I do wonder if every team he has doesn't shoot the ball well, is that a coaching thing? I don't know enough about basketball practice, and I don't sense that they don't shoot enough. I do sense that something about that offense, they don't get great looks, bad shots. But I think the main thing is it's too young of a team, and that's on him. That's on the coach. That thing was a mess. No one's not trying. They play tight. They're young. One reason you lack energy is because you don't have a lot of seniors or juniors to say, hey, let's go. What are you walking around out there? All you got is Mike, and I think Mike's tight. That was a debacle last night. He's learned a lot. The one lesson he said he's learned is he never talked about the 6th overall ranking. He ignored it. And I've heard a number of broadcasters now said if he had it to do over again, he would talk all about it, and this is what's expected of you. But I don't believe so. So has he done a bad job? Yes. And I probably haven't given enough credence to the fact that the coach hasn't done a very good job. I was wrong about that. I'm not firing him, but I'm not going to stick my head in the sand anymore and say he's not done a bad job because that was a poorly coached team last night. But I also think some of those guys were overrated. Now, I do wonder, Keontae Johnson is just okay. He's just an okay player. We were all raving about him. He's a 6'5" power forward. Noah Locke is not a great shooter. I don't care how many threes he's made. How many times has he had an open look this year and missed it? And when you thought he had a big one last night from the top of the key that would have made it a 3-point game, and he missed it. They came down and they hit one. So Nick Weatherspoon, I thought, was the best guard on the floor last night. Well, didn't you think that?
Yes.
Well, if Nick Weatherspoon's the best guard on the floor, then aren't Florida's guys kind of overrated? Or is the coach that bad that he's made those guys worse than Nick Weatherspoon? I don't think it works like that. I don't think you suddenly make guys bad. The best player on the floor by far, to your point, Lauren, was Reggie Perry. Overrated players, ran off too many veteran players. They play tight, he's tight, and don't kid yourself. This noise in the system, this everybody down on everybody else, and makes you even tighter. I agree with you, Hayes. I don't see this bouncing. They'll win a game here or there. They couldn't lose that one. Win last night, and okay, you're 13-7. You're 5-2 in the league. Of your 7 losses, your 2 home losses are to top 5 teams, okay? You would have lost to Butler, who's a really good team. You also would have lost to LSU, who's a really good team. So 4 or 5 of your 7 losses would have been good losses. Last night changed everything. Everything. I'm like you. I think they'll get into the tournament. 9-9 got them in last year. They've played a brutal schedule. In fairness to them, they've played a really good schedule. 9-9 got them in last year. I'm thinking last time when I thought they were going to win, when they were way up, I thought, okay, they're 5-2 in the league. They're 4 wins from the tournament. They're 4 SEC, and they play Vanderbilt twice. They're going to get in. I don't know what to think. It's a real crossroads for them now because everybody's saying what we're saying, and now because everybody's saying what we're saying, everybody knows it's out there. This is a real crossroads moment for Florida basketball.
It is, and I think this is going to make some people chuckle because he's somebody that has been long since forgotten. I don't get a sense it's guys that he let go that's the problem, but here's a problem that I have of a decision that he made recently. Dante Bassett doesn't play anymore. Right. Like, at all. Like, he's a junior. He's a junior. He hasn't played since the Auburn game. So he hasn't played in these last 3 games, all of which they've lost. Now, I'm not trying to sell you on if Dante Bassett plays, they win all 3 of those games. But what I am trying to sell you on is he is a grit player. And this team has 0 mental toughness. Dante Bassett's a tough player. He's not overly skilled, but he takes charges, he rebounds, he gives you a tough 9 or 10 minutes. And when he does that, it seems like it rubs off on the younger players.
Yeah, I agree with that, by the way. I'd play him more, too. I think you're dead on.
I mean, you look at what Payne has done, and look, we were all in love with Payne after his performance against Auburn. 19 points, 11 rebounds in 32 minutes. He looked like he was going to be a star, and he might still be, but he is in a massive slump. I mean, they have basically taken Bassett off the court completely, given those minutes to Payne. Payne has played now in the last 3 games combined 75 minutes. He has given you 11 points and 9 rebounds. I mean, he blocks shots. He does that at a good level. And I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't be playing, but Bassett needs to have a role in the first half and, if anything, just to spell Blackshear. Because when Blackshear gets his second foul in the first half, the team falls apart. And he got his second foul last night with 6 minutes left in the first half. The Gators were up 16, and that was the first domino of what led to an embarrassing collapse. So I would play Bassett more. Again, just back in the same role that he was in, when you looked like you were starting to figure some things out. Nebhardt's got to start shooting better. I mean, he's 1 of 14 on his last 3 games shooting the 3.
That's who he is.
I mean, but that's pitiful.
Yeah, but
that's pitiful.
But that's who he is. The problem is Andrew Nebhardt's not a good shooter. He's made some big threes. It makes us think that he is. He's not a good shooter.
No, Florida does not have good point guards or a point guard and a shooting guard. That's the problem. And every time that they play a team with better guards than them and usually more experienced, because to your point, they're so young at that position, they're going to lose. That's who controls the game. That's who sets everything up. And when Florida has Nembhard in lock or even Glover in lock, Glover has more tempo to his game, but he still sometimes is too selfish with the basketball. And nobody is able to guide that team to where they need to go offensively and defensively. There was one time last night that I thought they could have called a foul on one of the Mississippi State guys when Keontae Johnson was on the floor. And then he finally got up and the Mississippi State guy drained the 3. It was probably Woodard. That was the only time that I thought defensively Florida didn't get a break. Other than that, they were just completely caught flat-footed.
I would, you know what I would do? I'd turn freaking Scotty Lewis loose. He'd get, if it was me, he'd play 38, 40 minutes. He'd get it up 15 times. I don't care. Because he might be the one guy. I mean, you saw him at the beginning of that game. He had 13 points in no time. He had 10 points in the first 4 minutes of the game. He might be the one guy that really is a star talent.
He played 33 minutes last night, to your point. He played the most of any Florida player.
And he disappeared. And so he disappeared after halftime. So that's
Right.
coaching. That's coaching.
Like, what does Mike White say to them at halftime? I mean, I know that it was only a 10-point lead going into half, but still, what are you saying to them?
But did you see his halftime interview with Marty Smith?
Yes.
At halftime interview with Marty Smith, Marty goes, "What are you gonna do?" He goes, "Well, we just got to keep doing. We got to keep doing. I got to make sure we keep doing. We got to have the same. We got to have the same. We got to have the same intensity. We can't stop. We got to make sure the second half's like the first half." He said it so many times that I'm thinking, is he worried that they're not going to? And they didn't. So, but I'm telling you, it's again, you don't fire the coach today. But you know, and I'm not firing Mike White, but I'm never firing a guy that keeps going to the tournament, at least this early in his tenure. But something's got to change. One person said, does he need an older guy on his staff? Somebody sent me that on Twitter, which made a lot of sense. Billy Donovan's teams got better when he went and hired Larry Chiat, the longtime Clemson and Wyoming coach, because he was an older guy, understood defense. There was a maturity about him. I don't pretend to know Mike White's staff, but I don't think there's any older guys on it.
There isn't.
So do you go get a veteran guy like Chiat, who's been around a little bit? Do you obviously he's a pretty good recruiter. He's got a couple pretty good players coming in next year too. Now he's got a couple pretty good players sitting out. He certainly can go get guys that people want. He's proven that. So, but I'm telling you that last night I thought that was for me in terms of ones I've paid attention to. Maybe he's been there 5 years, so maybe there's others I'm missing. That was about as bad a loss last night. And Mississippi State's not terrible, by the way. They've won 5 in a row or 4 in a row, whatever it is. But so it's not like they lost to a terrible team. But because you're up 16 at home after having lost 2 in a row, and you've been pretty good at home, I thought that was as bad a loss for me as Mike White has had that I can remember. That was as bad a loss for me as they've had in the Mike White era.
Yeah, I don't, like you said, I don't remember certain things. Certainly losing the way that they did to Florida State earlier this year felt like that was an ominous game. But it's just what concerns you is last year he had guys go cold, right? And so what is going on during practices that is contributing to these guys not showing up whatsoever?
And again, because Nebhard plays slow, I think they play slow. I'm not hanging it on Andrew, but they play slow. They don't get into a rhythm. Part of the reason people say, well, they don't do anything on offense, and they don't do anything on offense. The offense stands around. Well, part of the reason is it takes them too long to get up court. You know, it's only a 30-second shot clock. I mean, the teams that play well get up and let it fly. And again, I don't know where you. By the way, other than I would turn Scotty Lewis loose, and I would play Bassett more too. But I'd play Payne. I would play. He's the one guy that if he's at least he can run and dunk. There's not much running and dunking on that team. So I would play. And I probably would not play Keontae Johnson quite as much.
I would cut Noah Locke's minutes.
Yeah, I absolutely would. In fact, what I probably would do, Locke, Mann, and Glover wouldn't play very much. I would make Scotty Lewis my 2 guard. And that's it. And I'd play the other big guys.
Locke can be the guy, the microwave off the bench. And if he's having one of those nights where, you put him in and he immediately hits a couple threes, then you play him a lot. But he's going to have to show me that every night because he is a one-dimensional player. And when that one dimension isn't there, he's a complete loss.
Yeah, and I've seen him enough now that he's a streaky shooter, but he's not a you better let him go, you're in trouble guy. He's not that guy. He wide open threes, he misses plenty of them. So so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Gator basketball team in a tough way. We'll see if they bounce back now. I said 7 games that I thought were winnable. Go 5-2 and you're okay. Well, they're 0-1. Right, I needed them 5-2. They're 0-1.
They better beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah. But that's on the road in that funky gym, and that's a lot of freshmen playing in that gym. I don't know. I'm now where you are, Lauren. I don't know. I mean, they're going to win some games, but I don't know which game they're going to go into where I'm totally confident of. So we'll see what happens. A bad loss for the Gators last night. And again, I've been the great defender. I know I said I wasn't going on Twitter last night, but I went on Twitter last night just to say I'm not defending him anymore. That was such a bad loss.
I liked that the one person was like, I thought you weren't going on Twitter.
I said I lied. I told the guy I lied. When we come back, I want to get into Tony Baselli. Does Tony get in this year or not? That's our topic. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, if you want a bank you can trust, do what I do. Head to Center State Bank. More locations than ever here in Jacksonville, all over the First Coast and St. Augustine. Every time you turn around, there's the Center State Bank. I saw a bunch in St. Augustine the other day. Here's what I know. I trust them. Money matters, boy. You got to make sure you're investing it the right way. You got to make sure you're in the right accounts. You want to make sure it's efficient. So many things to do with your banker that you need to get them. You need them to get it right. Center State to get it right. The best bank in town is my bank, Center State Bank.
What's he like?
He's different.
from anybody I know.
The Man Cold Hacker.
Difference good.
Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
All offers with approved credit and not in conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event.
Now's the time to get started with a whole lot of great deals from Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Arlington. Hurry into 9600 Atlantic Boulevard and save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the cars, trucks, and SUVs you love to drive.
Get a new Dodge Journey
And save up to $7,000. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on new Ram trucks. Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Arlington, 9600 Atlantic Boulevard.
Hey folks, been thinking about getting your carpets cleaned? Call Zero Res, the #1 rated carpet cleaner in town. Call us to get your carpets, tile and grout, area rugs, and furniture cleaned. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Florida. Welcome to More Than Enough Reason with Geico. You're eating spicy food and start to get that prickly feeling on your tongue.
Oh, this has a kick.
You have more than enough reason to pump the brakes. But no, nothing's gonna hold you back now.
This is good. A little hot, but good.
You've also got more than enough reason to switch to Geico. Because with Geico, you've got the ability to reach an agent for help 24/7. Unlike your ability to get more water at this restaurant.
Yeah, you can just leave the pitcher this time.
And even though you regret overlooking the 4 little peppers next to your dish on the menu, you'll never feel overlooked with Geico. Because they're available 24/7. Maybe that's why they've got a 97% customer satisfaction rating.
Wow.
So, Florida, while you're trying to look composed with a mouthful of ice cubes as you fan yourself with the drink menu, you can feel relieved knowing Geico helps with renter's insurance through the Geico Insurance Agency, too.
Geico. More reasons than ever to switch today over the phone at your local office or at geico.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguar's head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Degeneration or arthritis in the knee joint can be debilitating. While you can't regrow cartilage, you can strengthen the muscles around the knee to stabilize and help absorb stress on the joint. Strengthening should start with the quadriceps and hamstrings and the thighs, but should also include the hip and core muscles. Weight loss and nutrition should also be a part of protecting your joint, and don't forget to stretch. Go Jags.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in 295.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just can't say enough about Pella Windows and Doors. The highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, constant innovation and design, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports has Pella rated #1 in all 3 window categories, wood, vinyl, and composite series. So why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla. Pella Windows and Doors, and tell them Mike sent you.
You don't just go out on the lake and catch a bass on a whim.
The Moe's Southwest Grill Fishing Forecast.
It's a process.
With Captain Kevin. Brought to you by Ring Power and Tire Outlet. Thursday nights at 8 on 1010XL AM.
The highly skilled members of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians have been helping build Jacksonville for 118 years. Think about where you work. They built it. That hospital room where your children were born. They built it. The quality work and dedication of the highly skilled members of Local 234 has made them who they are since 1901. Learn more at UA234.com. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Living a good life is knowing your health is wealth. Good Feeling, Easy Healing, CBD encourages all athletes and active people to prepare your body for a better recovery. Our products promote the positive state of well-being. You can achieve this balance by experiencing our premium, all-natural CBD products. Use your favorite big game team special promo code SanFran2020 or KC2020 to receive 10% off your total purchase today at goodfeelingeasyhealing.com.
All the golf you want to play in 2020 for one low price? That's right. Hidden Hills Golf Club has just unveiled its 2020 Hills Pass. Unlimited golf, including cart fees, preferred tee times, and much more. Check it out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm getting a real feel on Tony this year. I think this is the year. I really do. If he doesn't get it, I will be astounded. I pounded these voters for the last 2 weeks. Everyone I bumped into, and everyone's leaning that way. So I think this is the year Baselli gets it.
The comments of Pete Prisco. You heard him on our show this week. A lot of thoughts on the whole Baselli thing. But let me get kind of right to it. This is the year Tony should be in. He should have been in before. 5th year as a semifinalist. 10th year of eligibility, I think it is. And let me give you a bunch of reasons why. Number one, what's always hurt Tony, you know the drill. Small market, didn't play enough games. Those are the things. But he's also been hurt by the fact that there's bigger name guys in bigger markets that played more prominent positions that were shoe-ins. So only 5 are going in. So the 2 or 3 shoe-ins, when you have the shoe-ins, it's harder for the guy on the periphery to get in. Well, he's always hurt. Well, there's only one shoe-in this year is Palomalo, and I'm not completely sure he's that much of a shoe. I think he's going in. But
one safety is definitely going in.
Yeah, and so
it's probably him.
Yeah, I think Palomalo is going in.
I would agree.
Most people believe of all the semifinalists, the one guy that people are pretty sure are going in is Troy Polamalu. That's the one guy people think. Other than that, there's no automatics. The danger is next year, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson, Jared Allen. Look.
So it's not happening next year.
Those are 4 Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Okay, those, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson, and Jared Allen are no doubt Hall of Famers. They're Hall of Famers.
That'll be one of the greatest classes ever.
Yeah, so if you're pretty sure those 4 are going in, it's hard for a guy in the periphery to get in next year. It just is. And so you don't want to be there next year. This year is the year to get in. He's waited his turn. Anybody that's been a semifinalist and I think it'll help him that he's been a semifinalist a long time and he keeps getting the call, not the knock on the door. I think the fact that keeps happening will help him. The danger for this year for me is, will they put 3 offensive linemen in the 5-man class? Probably not. It's unlikely that you'll see 3 offensive linemen go in. And he does have legitimate competition from Faneca and Hutchinson. Now, I think he's a better player than both guys, but both played way more games. I think Faneca played 216 games. Hutchinson played a bunch of 190-some games. Tony only played 91 games. Started 90, played 91. So he only played 91 games. That shouldn't matter now that Terrell Davis is in, who played fewer games, that Kenny Easley is in, who played fewer games, that Dwight Stevenson is in, who played fewer games. There's enough guys now that played fewer games than Tony Baselli that are in. But you got to combine few games, small market, not a skill position. If you start adding those 3 things up, they work against him. He deserves to go in now. He's waited his time. It is time. I think he's going to go in now. I think there's enough momentum. I think enough people will say, you know what? I've thought all along he belonged in. I just couldn't vote him ahead of Joe Blow. I just couldn't vote him ahead of this guy. I couldn't vote him ahead of that guy. And now all the Joe Blows are out. I really believe all the Joe Blows are out now, other than Polamalu. So I think he gets in, and I think he gets in comfortably. But boy, Hayes, you got to go in this year because of the impending class next year. And at some point you're just a forgotten guy, and you don't want to be that. This is his last year, not so. I think Tony gets in, but it's really important he gets in this year.
I agree, because what else can you say to convince the voting bloc? I mean, the Jaguars have done an excellent job. His case is laid out well in the room from what you hear from Sam Kavaris. So, there's no other evidence that anybody can come up with. This is it. This is the case. And it feels like it's at its most momentum that it's had. And you do wonder if it's not this year, then at some point does that momentum stop? Do the voters start to tune out the arguments that Pete makes, that Sam makes, in terms of that? So it's a huge year. I think he gets in. I think he'll get in. I agree with you. I think he'll get in fairly comfortably. But until I'm sure once you've had year after year after year of not getting in, obviously there's going to be a lot of nervous moments leading up to seeing if Dave Baker knocks on his door, and hopefully that's what happens. And we'll get to see, the Jaguars will do an outstanding job. PCAV and that gang will do a great job of documenting it, and it'll be one of the greatest Jaguar things that we've seen. And this fan base has never gotten to experience having one of its own go into the Hall of Fame, and it would be incredibly exciting to see Tony get inducted. It's certainly deserving, and I think he gets in. I think it'll be Polamalu. I think Edgerrin James is getting in. I think Tony gets in. I think Hutchinson gets in, who's more of a guard, and I think John Lynch gets in.
Were you surprised that Bruce Smith did not say definitely that Tony should be in the Hall of Fame? He said he's an outstanding talent, but it's all about a body of work.
Yeah, I didn't see that. All I saw was that he complimented him. I didn't see that he said he's not sure. Everybody else I've seen, Jason Taylor said he belongs in, Anthony Munoz. So I'm not surprised. I've always heard Bruce Smith didn't take well to how bad Vaselli beat him that day and how well he handled him that day. So I'm not super surprised. But I'm telling you, it's a big day. It's a big time. You know what else too? And this does matter. It's time. Jacksonville deserves it too at this point. Okay, we have no players in that thing. We've been in the league 25 years. All right, we've been in the league long enough now to have a Hall of Famer just worn this uniform. It's been long enough. So yes, at some point there has to be some balance, some parity in there. And so Jacksonville's waited long enough for this. This will be a really big deal to Jacksonville. I would love to see him in the Hall of Fame game. Now, I keep hearing that the Steelers believe they're going to be in it, and Jacksonville plays Pittsburgh during the regular year, so I wouldn't think Jacksonville's going to be in if the Steelers are going to be in. But that's a shame because it'd be a good year to be in it. I think it'd be – I mean, you got Minshew, although he's probably the starting quarterback doesn't play much in that game, but I just think it'd be – but he'd be all the rage. He'd be all the talk. But I think this is the time. But I will tell you, as Tony's friend, really good friend, someone that works with him, a Jaguars fan who's been here since the beginning here, I am nervous about if it's not this year, then when, because of that class next year. I am nervous about Faneca and Hutchinson because they're well-known guys. And there's a belief with Faneca, well, both of them really, that they should have been in by now too. And that's the concern. And Faneca played on a franchise that everybody knows. I like the fact that Polamalu's going in, so some people might be reluctant to put two Steelers in. That helps the cause. Don't you think that helps the cause a little? If you're torn between Vaselli and Faneca, okay, there's already one Steeler going in. So I think that helps the cause some too. So we'll see if he winds up going in. If he does, don't you sense that? I don't know how much this matters. But doesn't that elevate the franchise a little bit that we got a guy in? Don't you see it that way? I think it matters.
Absolutely. I think it would be huge for the Jaguars if Tony Vaselli gets inducted in. So anytime you're not part of a club, and to your point, you've been in the neighborhood for 25 years, you start to wonder, am I ever going to get that invite? Or are we ever going to,
right.
And again, I don't think it's, I understand that. I think Tony's case is strong. I mean, to me, if I'm a voter, I'm not voting Tony in because the Jaguars have never had somebody in before. I'm voting Tony in because if he didn't get hurt, he might have been the greatest left tackle of all time.
Right.
And that's the question I think you have to ask yourself as a voter. Am I going to penalize this man for something that he had no control over? And do I honestly think that if this man had played 12 years, that all of a sudden his game would have fallen off a cliff? I mean, give me a break. And so, I think he played long enough. I think it really is hard to imagine him not playing at that high level for another 4 or 5 years had he been healthy. And I just think at the end of the day, it's hard to penalize somebody, for an injury that was no fault of their own. So I think he did enough. He belongs in the Hall of Fame. And again, I think he's waited his turn. Had he played 12 years, he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. And he's waited long enough. It's time to get him in.
Last year it was at 9 o'clock. I'm trying to figure out. I assume it's at 9 o'clock again, but I'm trying to figure out exactly what channel. 9 o'clock. Oh, you know what channel? It was CBS last year.
It's Fox.
Fox, okay.
Tony
Makes
said.
sense because they have the Super Bowl.
Tony said, I think on the drill, that they want you in your room by 9 and that everything will be determined by 10. And if you follow this close enough, you know by now that if you're not getting in, they call you. If you are getting in, they knock on your door.
So your palms are just sweating. Your heart's racing, and you hope you don't hear your phone.
How hard that would be?
And didn't he tell a great story about there was a knock on the door and it was the housekeeper?
Yeah, is that which is? Can you imagine? Well, how awful would that be? The best story.
Cruel.
The best story was the 2 or 3, and he laughs about hearing him tell the stories better. But Pete Cav and Ozier and all these guys, was it 2 or 3 years ago? They were convinced he was in. Everybody knew he was in. It was the year that everybody knew he was in. So they go to the bar, they eat burgers and beers, they have this big bar tab, and send it to Baselli's room. So they think Baselli will go. The good thing will be Baselli will get in, and as hard as we've worked to take pictures and videos of him, the least he can do is buy our, okay? He doesn't get in. He finds out he doesn't get in, and then he sees the $200 bar tab, which is hilarious. And Baselli goes, hearing Pete Cavanaugh's guys tell the story is funny. Hearing Baselli tell it's really funny. Because he just goes, whew, just had the worst night of my life. Oh, by the way, there's a $250 bar tab from the knuckleheads I work with. It's really funny.
If I was them, I would have raced to pay that so that he didn't have to worry about it.
So I hope he gets in. I think he's a deserving player. I mean that very sincerely. He's one of my dear friends. He's a good man. He's a great player. He should not be penalized because again, let me be clear. If there was a minimum games you had to play, if you had to play 100 games to get in and he didn't play 100, then so be it. Or if nobody else had gotten in that played fewer games, then so be it. But both of those are off the chart, okay, off the list again. And Terrell Davis, by the way, let me be clear. Terrell Davis played fewer games and got in. Terrell Davis is not one of the great backs of all time. He had a great run with Denver for a handful of years there, and that was it. Terrell Davis isn't Barry Sanders. And he got in with very few games. So I'm not saying he was just a guy. He was a good player. He belongs in. Kenny Easley was one of the great safeties I ever saw. That's different. Dwight Stevenson might be as good a center who's ever played. Terrell Davis, if you had to run off in your lifetime the top 25 NFL running backs you ever saw, would Terrell Davis make it? Maybe
he'd make 25. But to your point,
he wouldn't make 15.
He wouldn't make 15.
Yeah, and so he's a good player. I'm not knocking Terrell Davis, but I'm just saying it was the fact that he's in with fewer games. I think people got caught up in because he was in Denver. And he was with Elway, and I think that's why he's in, so at least in my mind. So
again, Tony's last season of, 16 starts, he was 28 years old.
Right.
At 29, he starts 3 games, and then that's it. His career's over. Are you really trying to tell me that 29, 30, 31, 32, 33-year-old Tony Baselli, without an injury, would have fallen off a cliff as a player? Right. That's ludicrous. And again, I understand not being first ballot. I understand having to wait your turn because of longevity. But again, there's way too many people that know way more about football than I'll ever know. Coaches, former players, and they say, I saw Tony Baselli, I played against him. That's a Hall of Fame left tackle.
Yeah, and that's what you just said is as succinct as it needs to be. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Let's take a break. We got a lot more to do on the program today. When we come back, I want to get into the Rooney Rule. Does it work? Does it not work? Are they getting it wrong? All that and more. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Tony Smith. Join Mike Dempsey and me as we broadcast live from Miami all week leading up to the Super Bowl. We'll have celebrities and insight you've come to expect, plus many surprises along the way. Jaguars Today at the Super Bowl is presented by J. David Tax Law and Peninsular Pest Control on 1010XL.
You know the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center is the place to go for all of your home remodeling. But did you know that they are the only showroom in town with Karastan area rugs? Karastan has made high-quality rugs for 90 years, now offered at affordable prices. Karastan has so many options, even a Property Brothers line. Karastan rugs are perfect on hardwood, tile, or vinyl plank flooring. Plus, Karastan will get your brand new rug delivered quickly and directly to your home. Stop by the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center today on Southside Boulevard across from Tinseltown or head to floorsandkitchen.com.
New year, new models, new deals during your First Coast Acura Dealers Upgrade event.
Acura delivers affordable, smart performance luxury across our lineup of award-winning sedans and SUVs. That's why more people are choosing Acura than ever before. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com makes it easy to buy with countless ways to save. Steal your deal today with aggressive, affordable lease and financing offers and bundle your savings with bonus opportunities for loyalty and conquest customers. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
Are lingering sinus issues slowing you down? Pain around your eyes or forehead? Headaches and pressure could mean you have a sinus issue that over-the-counter medicine just won't cure. Get a fast ENT specialist appointment by calling 904-202-ENTS. Same or next day appointments may be available. That's 202-3687. Say goodbye to your sinus issues today.
Did you know that there are 215,000 IT support jobs in the U.S. waiting for a qualified candidate, with an average starting salary of $53,000 a year? It's why Google developed the IT Professional Certificates, online programs that provide the job-ready skills you need to start or advance your IT career. By completing the program, your resume can be considered by Google and 40 other top employers. And you don't need tech experience or a college degree. Enroll today at g.co/ITcert. That's g.co/ITcert.
Searching for a fence? Challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 750 total online reviews and a 4.8 out of 5 review average, Superior Fence and Rail is superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by out-of-town tax companies that focus only on signing you up without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, or unfiled returns, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law and get the help you need. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
This is Frank Frangie. When I need to send a floral arrangement, I go local and buy from Kuhn Flowers. This new year, resolve to buy local and send someone you love a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers.
Jacksonville, this is Brian Rose, owner of Remedy Workforce Specialists. Over the last 25 years, you have made us one of Northeast Florida's most trusted staffing providers, and we are proud that many of you call us your workforce partner. Give us a call at 904-528-1933 to learn more about our supply chain and manufacturing divisions and how we can help you meet your staffing needs.
Remedy Staffing, 904-528-1933.
Be a part of the city's only night ride and motorcycle giveaway. Join us Friday, February 7th for Legacy Law Enforcement Foundation's 15th annual Light the City Ride. This police-escorted ride benefiting local charities features a new route. Ride starts at our Adamak Harley-Davidson of Jacksonville location and ends with dinner from Carrabba's at our new St. Augustine dealership, where we'll be raffling off a 2020 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Get your ticket to ride today, in-store or online at AdamakHarley.com.
It's a new year and Claude Nolan Cadillac is celebrating. Stop in today and test drive the all-new 2020 Cadillac CT5 sedan. Plus get 0% financing for 60 months and $1,500 on most Cadillac 2020 models. Save money and celebrate you. Start your year off in a new Claude Nolan Cadillac. Visit Claude Nolan Cadillac on Southside Boulevard or go to ClaudeNolanCadillac.com. Beginning lasting relationships since 1905. See dealer for details.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Jaguars great Tony Baselli is among the 15 modern-era player finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2020. Pete Prisco of CBS Sports believes this could be the year for Tony Baselli.
I get the real feel on Tony this year. I think this is the year. I really do. If he doesn't get it, I will be astounded. I pounded these voters for the last 2 weeks. Everyone I bumped into, and everyone's leaning that way. So I think this is the year Baselli gets it.
Prisco, a guest of The Frangie Show. The finalists will be presented before the 48-member Pro Football Hall of Fame Selection Committee on Saturday. The Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2020 will be introduced Saturday night, 9 o'clock, during NFL Honors on Fox. 56 degrees at 4 o'clock. Time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Clearly, we are not where we want to be on this level. You know, we have a lot of work that's gone into not only the Rooney Rule, but our policies overall. It's clear we need to change and do something different. There's no reason to expect that we're going to have a different outcome next year without those kinds of changes.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell discussing the Rooney Rule. Ron Rivera getting hired by the Redskins. Well, that marked the second consecutive year that only one minority candidate earned a head coaching opportunity. Therefore, Roger Goodell needed to address that during Super Bowl week. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Andrew Gibson, and Lauren Brooks. So what do they do, Frank? How do they fix it?
Well, I don't know that you can fix it with a rule. See, I think that's the problem. It's like in every other workplace, Lauren. I think you have to trust people to understand the importance of diversity. I think you have to trust people to make sure they are not following into a pattern. I think that's first and foremost. I'm not someone that believes you should hire a minority candidate because they're a minority candidate. I think you should hire the best candidate. I'm adamant about that. And I don't believe that the NFL or any other sport is purposely not hiring minority candidates. But I think what the point Goodell made today is, and I kind of agree with it, are you making sure you're considering all candidates rather than falling into, well, I want to see what happens is, and I'm a big believer this really is the NFL. The NFL hires coordinators. That's who gets hired. There was a little bit of a blip there when they hired college coaches Kingsbury and they hired Matt Rule this year. But for the most part, the NFL hires either a recycled head coach or a coordinator. You agree with that?
Yes.
That's pretty much who they hire. They hire, well, I think the problem here to your question is, are head coaches hiring enough, are there enough minority coordinators so the pool of potential coaches is bigger? In the case of Eric Bieniemy, what I think hurts Bieniemy, nothing wrong with Eric, is nobody believed he was calling the plays. So, I mean, Andy Reid calls the plays. So you're a coordinator in title, but you got to be calling the plays. So this has got to be a trickle-up effect, okay? I think there's plenty of minority assistant coaches. That's not a problem. But there aren't a lot of minority coordinators. There just aren't. So when you look at how to fix this thing, and again, I want to be clear. If I was an owner, I would hire the best head coach candidate. I wouldn't care if it was a minority or if it wasn't. I'm going to hire the best candidate. I owe that to my fans. I owe that to my wallet. I owe that to the reason I have the job. But I am going to make sure I'm considering everybody. And Hayes, I think the problem is you need more coordinators of color or of diversity so the pool is bigger. That's where I think if you go around looking at offensive and defensive coordinators, over the years, the minority candidates are older guys that have had their crack. Romeo Crennel. Okay, well, he wasn't getting another job another crack as a head job or crack as a head coach. He just wasn't. I think who am I thinking of? Hugh Jackson. He's not getting another crack. Hugh Jackson's not getting another crack. Romeo Crennel. So some of the African American coordinators are guys who've had their crack at it. We need more guys like Anthony Lynn was, a young African American coordinator who was now in line.
Byron Leftwich.
So Byron Leftwich is a perfect example. Byron Leftwich is but what would really help Byron is to be a coordinator where they knew he was running the offense. Right now, I'm not sure Byron's running I know Bruce Arians says he's calling the plays, But don't you find yourself thinking it's Bruce's offense?
Yes.
I know I do. But so I think you need more coordinators who are African American. So there's a pool of candidates, and I don't think a rule is going to change that. I think the Rooney Rule was well intended, but I think people are going through the motions with it. I think what Roger Goodell said is correct.
I agree, and I think they need to extend the Rooney Rule to coordinator hires. I think that's the way to do it because you're right. The majority of head coach hires in the NFL are going to be NFL coordinators. It's just how the league has always worked. And so you've got 64 coordinators, and that's where you've got to really increase the level of diversity there. And the best way to do that is to implement the rule. If a team still wants to, they can still hire whatever coordinator that they want to hire. But if you made them do the interview, then again, that's how, no one thought Tomlin was getting the Steelers job, but he was dazzling in his interview.
Right.
And the Steelers hired him, and he's won a championship. So, I think that's the benefit of it is it does allow a team to be dazzled. It gives that candidate a chance to prove that they have some really cutting edge ideas and how to do it. So extend the Rooney Rule to coordinator hires. And I also would be in favor of allowing minority candidates the ability to interview even if their team is in the playoffs at any time. So now I think it's if you don't get a bye week, then you can't interview at all. If you get a bye week, you can interview during that bye week, but after that, you're off limits from interviewing. I think the league would be well served to say that at least until it gets better, we're going to allow minority candidates to interview at any point so that we don't have a candidate like Eric, because it probably did hurt Eric Bieniemy this year not being able to interview. Sometimes clubs are willing to wait. We saw it with the Falcons. They were willing to wait on Dan Quinn until after the Super Bowl. But normally teams don't want to wait that long. So I do think it would be beneficial to not have that, the minority candidate is already up against it if you look at the numbers. So why not go ahead and eliminate that potential obstacle and say, look, if a team wants to interview Eric Bieniemy, they shouldn't have to wait until after the Super Bowl to do it. So I think those would be a couple things to try to increase it. But Frank, your point's a great one. At the end of the day, the club has to hire who they feel like the best coach is going to be. And the NFL isn't really done a lot of favors at the college level because it's even worse at the Division I level than it is in the NFL. So you're not getting a lot really in terms of, the college ranks are not producing. And again, that's a totally different. There's nothing the NFL can do about that. That's just the hand they're dealt. But it is a problem that goes beyond the NFL to every level of football.
Well, and I think you always look up above the coaches and who's making the decisions. And I don't think there are a lot of minority general managers, and there are very few minority owners. Not that you get to pick and choose who the owners are who have that much money, but the reality is that there's probably only 2 out of the 32. One of them obviously is here, but then there are no minority either head coach or coordinators here working for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I think it in companies you can, I think, find more qualified candidates easily. In the NFL, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and but again, one thing that I think will help, I do think I can tell you this, and it's a little bit cyclical. Now, it's not cyclical in hiring high volume of minority coaches. The sports just haven't done that. But I do think there are an awful lot of really well-respected, very well-respected African-American assistant coaches in the league. I can tell you there are. And that will trickle up that will make its way up to coordinator positions. I think you will see that. I also think this, too. I think now, one of the things that happens with sports, this has nothing to do with black people, white people, whatever. What happens is, for the longest time in all sports, players did not go into coaching, okay? Highly paid players did not go into coaching in any sport. Now, basketball maybe a little bit more, but Jerry West, I'm thinking of Pat Riley, but Jerry West was a great player. I'm trying to think how many great players did. But you know why? Because coaches didn't make any money. Highly paid multi-millionaire player doesn't want to go take a coaching job that doesn't pay very well. They just didn't. That's why for generations, really good players didn't want to pursue leadership. They just didn't. They wanted to go do something else. And again, that's not black players, white players, it's just all players. Well, now coaches are paid so well. I mean, coordinators are all seven-figure jobs now. You know, special teams coordinators, offensive, defensive coordinators, they're seven-figure guys. So now players start to pursue that track more than they ever have in all sports. So which is why I think you're going to see the really good players. I mean, you're really seeing it in baseball. Gibby, we talk about it all the time. The best managers now were really good players. So that's changing. I think the more you see that, if you look around football, there's not very many head coaches who are good players. Think about it. There's not very. I mean, how many coaches were good players? I mean, really good players. Can you think of any that were really good players?
No,
almost none, because they haven't pursued it. And you know, the old conversation was in baseball for sure. The best managers were not good players because they had to know the game better because they had to work at it harder. The game came too easy to the great players, so they didn't know the game as well. The manager really had to know the game. That's how he survived in the game, and for that reason, he's a better manager. I think some of that is. But I mean, go around football. Steve Spurrier was a great player and a really good coach. I'm trying to think how many qualify as that. Really good player, really good coach. College, pro, Bart Starr was not a good coach, great player. I'm trying to think how many even tried, you know.
I think a lot of players, too, are now going into broadcasting because you can make a lot of money in that field and you don't have to work nearly as hard.
That's part of it. And there's more money. But they've always done that, but there's not as many jobs. There's far more jobs in some kind of coaching if you count college coaching. But, again, there's not.
Vrabel might be, but it's too early.
You know, Vrabel was a pretty good player. He wasn't a great player, but he was a pretty darn good call. That's a good call. I think he may be a pretty good coach. But I'm talking. Now, baseball's not like that. Baseball is finally getting the good players that are becoming coaches now. I mean, Don Mattingly's a manager. He's a great hitter. So I think you're seeing more of that. But I'm trying to go through the entire NFL and find how many head coaches were damn good NFL players. I don't mean Hall of Fame good, just damn good players. Vrabel was a damn good player. That's one. But I'm thinking, can you think of any other head coaches who were damn good players? Hardly any. Yeah, I mean, almost zero. Right? Even in recent memory, almost zero. Hell, you know who's a pretty good player? Jack Del Rio was a pretty good player. You know, I'm trying to go through Jacksonville coaches, right? Jack Del Rio was a very good player, or a pretty good player. Played for a long time. But there's very little of that in any of ours. I mean, and
Mike Mularkey also played.
Yeah, but he wasn't great. But Del Rio was a good player.
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio was a good linebacker. He was a very good college player.
I think in the NFL, Mike Vrabel's the only one that even had a decent career.
Only one I can think of. And you're right, because I'm grinding on it too as we go.
I mean, I wouldn't count Frank Reich. I know he had the moment in the playoffs.
He was a backup. He was a career backup.
Right.
Ron Rivera had 392 tackles and 9 interceptions.
You know what? Rivera was a good player.
He's only 85 Bears, wasn't he?
Yeah, Rivera was a good player. Now, there's probably 15 members of that defense I know better, you know, but he was on the team. Jeff Fisher was on the team too, by the way. So, you know, but there haven't been very many of them. So, look, I will say this. If any walk of life is not giving, if we're ever profiling and not giving various races a chance to have whatever job, well, then shame on us. If that's true, if there's truth to that, shame on us. Shame on, I will say this, in football, forever, black quarterbacks didn't get a chance. They run fast, move to wide receiver. This guy's, you know, he's going to play another position. And finally, the NFL freaking wised up and said, playing quarterback has nothing to do whether you're a black guy or a white guy. But I'm telling you, for the longest time, that was real. It was very real. And finally, the NFL figured out, and college football, and everybody figured out that there's no connection. There's none. There's no connection. The best quarterback's the best quarterback, so hopefully it'll happen in the coaching ranks as well. Let's take a break. More in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Keep your car the cleanest it has ever been by taking it to Scrubbles Car Wash. Lauren Brooks here. Every Scrubbles 3-minute car wash package comes with self-serve vacuuming, lint-free towels, window cleaner, and a free air freshener, so you will love the way your vehicle looks, and smells. Scrubbles is even more convenient now with 2 locations, the St. John's Town Center and in Fleming Island. Plus, Scrubbles has even more locations to come. Scrubbles Car Wash uses quality soaps and solutions so your vehicle stays streak-free. You will love the tunnel wash, and the Soapy Light Show experience is one the whole family will enjoy. Remember, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Now, the Lamb Rant, brought to you by the Best Bet Card Rooms at Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Whether you think they earn it or you shake your head in disgust, college football coaches' salaries have skyrocketed, and that includes coordinators. Clemson's Dabo Swinney, his take-home in 2019 was over $10 million. 12 coaches made $5 million or more, and another 5 likely will join the $5 million club in 2020. Perhaps more alarming is what coordinators are getting. LSU's defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, made $2.5 million. Clemson's Brent Venable, $2.2 million, and Auburn's Kevin Steele, $2 million plus. I'm not alarmed, but I am disgusted at the hypocrisy. College football brass cry poor mouth when asked about compensating athletes, yet they dish out money to the coaches and some administrators as if they're printing it in the bowels of their stadiums. Surely a little less money for the coaches and a little something for the players is reasonable. Something, anything. In such an environment, why would any player stay in school for free when he can make money in the NFL?
2020 is here, and there's no more excuses. No more excuses for not getting a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. No more excuses for not getting 5 free oil changes. No more excuses for not getting the best price and top dollar for your trade. This year, there's no excuse why you shouldn't shop at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Trust us, we don't make excuses. We make it easy peasy to do business. Take a drive and see what you've been missing. We're here to wow you.
Gentlemen, discover the new medical treatment that Viagra doesn't want you to know about. I'm Bradley I with Synergenics Elite Health, and we offer Gainswave. It's a simple 20-minute in-office procedure. Gainswave is non-invasive, and it restores the poor blood flow that causes ED. Stop popping pills and scheduling intimacy. Call 904-500-5500. Consultations are free. Mention this radio station for $150 off your first treatment. Call Synergenics Elite Health at 904-500-5500 to learn about the Gainswave ED treatment today.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 29, 1936, the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown announced the election of its first ever members. Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb were amongst the selected.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Now get financing as low as 0.99% APR for up to 60 months. Now through March 31st, 2020. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road, Jacksonville, and in McClenny.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have a special offer for anyone who is buying or refinancing a home. It's not something you do every day, so you want to make sure you're getting a great deal. Trustline Mortgage will pay you $100 just to give you a free second opinion. What do you have to lose? Nothing. I know what you're thinking. How can they possibly pay me $100 just to give me a free second opinion? That's crazy. Listen, Trustline Mortgage is celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. You're in business that long because you're good at what you do. Call Trustline Mortgage today to get your free second opinion, your $100, and your peace of mind. Jumbo loans, interest-only loans, conventional, VA, FHA, credit challenge loans, bank statement loans, self-employed, purchases, refinances, you name it, we have it. Call Trustline Mortgage at 381-LOAN or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 331480.
Hey, this is Lisa with Jerry's Grill. Join us for the Big Game Watch Party with Frank Frangie at Jerry's Sports Grill. Sunday, February 2nd. Get Smart John will host the Big Game Trivia with prizes starting at 4 o'clock. We'll have lots of great food specials and team shot specials. Beer vendors will be there with lots of giveaways. We'll have cornhole, and don't forget the large 50-inch LED TV raffle. That's Sunday, February 2nd at Jerry's Sports Grill. We'll see you there.
Ah, the copperhead snake. It hisses before attacking. But that's not a copperhead. That's the Sullivan's RV freshwater tank overflowing into their black one, which is backing into their vent pipe, making for a very different kind of attack. One that arrives just in time for taco night. It's wild out there. When it gets too wild, Progressive has your RV covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
John's Auto has been in Jacksonville for 32 years. That doesn't happen by cheating customers. At John's Auto, their reputation is in its work. Top quality for a lower price. It's full service at John's Auto. Brake, shocks, alignment, transmission, front end repair, tires, and they specialize in AC repair, whether it's the repair itself or getting your AC coolant checked. John's Auto, Arlington Road. Call 743-3857, a family-owned business.
Living a good life is knowing your health is well. Good Feeling, Easy Healing, CBD encourages all athletes and active people to prepare your body for a better recovery. Our products promote the positive state of well-being. You can achieve this balance by experiencing our premium, all-natural CBD products. Use your favorite Big Game Team Special promo code SanFran2020 or KC2020 to receive 10% off your total purchase today at goodfeelingeasyhealing.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
They weren't the only one. I had other interviews as well with other major Power 5 universities, so they're not the only one. I'm going to coach in college next year, and I can't wait. I look forward to it.
Deion Sanders today with on Dan Cannell's show, both former Seminoles. He said he had interviews not just with FSU, but with other Power 5 schools. He said, I'm going to coach in college next year. He didn't say I'm going to be a head coach. He said, I'm going to coach in college next year.
But that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Interviewing as a head coach.
Yeah. No, I know it was, but back to his comment, Gib, because he can't decide he's going to be a head coach next year. Someone's got to hire him as that. You know, I think he can pretty much say he's going to coach in college. You know what I mean? You can't just say I'm going to be a head coach in college next year because someone's got to hire you. You can't just say next year I'm going to go start quarterback in the NFL. Well, there's 32 of them. Someone's got to hire you to do it. But I do think he was being asked to give his point. He was being asked by Cannell if he wants to be a head coach. I think he's going to pursue it. I think the boys asked me this during the handoff. I think he's bored. I think he's enamored with it. I think he wants to coach football. And I think someone's going to hire Deion Sanders. The question I have is this. No Power 5's hiring him to be their head coach. They're not. That's not a knock on Deion. No Power 5's hiring Peyton Manning to be their head coach. It's just not where they are right now. So, is he a defensive backs coach somewhere? Is that too low for him in his mind? Is he the head coach at Pittsburgh State, who's a Division III? If he really does want to do it, and it sounds like he's pretty committed, where does he start?
As a head coach, because Deion Sanders isn't going to work on somebody's staff. I don't see that happening. I think Deion Sanders has to be the star. I think the spotlight has to be on him. And I think he's really disillusioned because I do think he thinks that he's going to be coaching USC next year. I mean, I think that's what he has in his mind. And look, dream big. I would never discourage anybody from their ambition, but I don't know that there's a reality here. I don't know that, was he seriously interviewed for any of these jobs of any consequence? I mean, if it was multiple schools, how come none of that ever came out? I think it's not going to happen because I think you have to. Even a player is phenomenal, as Deion Sanders was, and even somebody with the profile that Deion Sanders still has. I mean, he would, certainly from a recruiting standpoint, a lot of the battle will be waged before Deion Sanders ever even meets with the prospect, because there's a good chance the prospect and the prospect's parents love Deion Sanders, or at least know who he is and respect what he's done for football. So I'm not suggesting that he can't work his way up and become a head coach, but he doesn't strike me as somebody that wants to, at this point in his life, and probably at no point in his life, wants to pay his dues. I think if Nick Saban called Deion Sanders and said, would you like to be my defensive coordinator, which would be the greatest first job ever in collegiate coaching, I don't think he'd be interested because he wants Saban's job. And he thinks that that's what he should start out, at. So I think it's misguided. It'd be fun. I'd love to see Deion Sanders as a coach. Would have loved to have seen FSU hire him because, boy, that would have been entertaining. But I think there's a disconnect from what Deion thinks and what the market will think.
I would be really surprised if he was hired by any Power 5 athletic director to go from being a personality to being a head coach. I would be really surprised. But at the same time, I'm sure there's one school out there that the AD loves the idea that putting Deion Sanders as the face of his football program will put them on the map. A school that doesn't care maybe as much about following the rules. And because to me, if Deion Sanders is hired, there's got to be some sort of recruiting violations almost right away because he doesn't know the rules. And even if he tries to learn them, they're still overwhelming. I mean, there's so many different things that are involved. So I would be shocked if he landed as a head coach.
Yeah, So where does he start? What's he do? What's he doing next year? Where's Deion Sanders next September?
So his son is committed to South Carolina as a defensive back.
Okay.
Could he be Will Muschamp's defensive coordinator?
No, no chance. No chance. So what you get? I need a prediction. Where's Deion Sanders?
I don't think he ends up coaching.
You think he doesn't coach at all?
Yeah.
What about you?
NFL Network.
You don't think he coaches either?
No.
I think he's going to coach. He sounds. I mean, just hearing what he said to Cannell, I'll be coaching next year.
And he told Dan Patrick, I will be a head coach next year.
Yeah.
He used that exact phrase when he met with him.
Yeah. So if he said I will be a head coach, my guess is Fort Hays State. Isn't that one of the Division III? Give me more from Deion talking about all this.
I met with everybody. They flew down to Dallas, and I met with them. And I laid out a plan that what I'm going to do for your university over the next several years. And this is how my 30-day plan, 60-day plan, this is how it's going to go down. And we're going to be in it to win it for certain. I had assembled 5 former head coaches that were going to be on my staff, had staff 2 deep and everything, just in case I didn't get this one. I was already ready, prepared, showed them a game plan to recruit, and emphasized that if you don't win the state of Florida, you can forget it.
Why are you laughing over there?
I mean, it's
preposterous. It's
preposterous, but it's also impressive that he's convinced himself of this. I love that. I mean, you gotta love the confidence.
Yeah.
By his last statement, does that mean he's looking at Florida?
At Florida. I mean, yeah, that last statement would tell you he believes he's going to be coaching
Miami,
Florida State next year. I mean, there's no way he could ever coach the Gators, and there's no way he could ever coach the Canes,
right?
And there's no other job in Florida that would be big enough for Deion Sanders to take. I don't.
What about
think.
UCF? They're not. They've been
I don't think he
national
would take
champions
UCF.
in the past.
I don't think UCF would offer Deion Sanders the job.
I don't think.
And I don't think Deion Sanders would be interested in coaching UCF.
Yeah.
I don't. That's how disillusioned I think he is. Because that's a nice job. And it's a phenomenal job
he says,
if you have no coaching credentials at all.
Well, he says I'll be a head coach next year. Does he know what jobs are going to be open? I mean, doesn't he have to be open first? Or does he think someone's going to fire someone for him?
If you're him, that's what I think he is that disillusioned.
I think this is also a man who is a brilliant PR strategist.
Brilliant.
And has been as gifted in PR as anybody over the last 3 decades. Had the instincts for it in high school, certainly in college, and certainly in the NFL. I think this is Deion Sanders knowing that he's going to say something during Super Bowl week where a lot of people are doing interviews, and he's saying the big thing that's going to be the big story. And he's hit another home run because this is a story that a lot of people are talking about. And why? Because he's so convincing in what he is saying. And so, yeah, I don't think it's rooted in reality. This could just be a brilliant strategist from a public relations standpoint wanting to keep the spotlight and keep his profile and have people talk about him, which is what he's loved forever. And to his credit, it worked beautifully.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what the end game is, other than just people talking about Deion. But Deion could do anything he wants and have people talk about Deion.
Could he be Lane Kiffin's defensive coordinator?
No. I think someone at some small school, division whatever, is gonna for the sake of the PR you talk about, is gonna hire Deion Sanders. I think that. I think again, no D1's hired him. No, certainly no Power 5's hired him. No Group of 5's hiring him. It may be a junior college. It may be Humboldt State. It may be.
But how much would that even pay? I mean, we're talking about a multi-million.
But it's clear he's not doing it for that reason. I mean, if he's got all the millions, I think the guy wants to coach. Didn't he coach his kids' team or something in high school?
He did in Texas.
Yeah,
the school closed in 2015.
Yeah,
so it's still been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy. You may be right.
There's
Hayes.
a big grind that he's entering into that I think he knows, and I don't think he wants any part of.
Yeah, and so
I mean,
at that level, at a level like that, where I mean, how many people are showing up to watch a Division III game?
Right.
And I mean, yeah, for the school, sure, there's a benefit. It definitely gets you a 24-hour news cycle hit, but I don't think it does much beyond that. And Deion Sanders is going to recruit, basically backups in high school to go play for him at Division III,
Humboldt
Hobart,
State,
whatever you want to call it.
I got a dog on Humboldt State. They play hard too. They're trying.
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen.
Could he convince you if he really had a plan with 5 former head coaches, right? Let's say, for instance, Ron Zook is one of these guys who's been a head coach. He's going to be a special teams coordinator, or defensive coordinator, what have you. Could he convince you if he really did have those 5 guys locked up and he's just going to be the face, he's going to recruit, and someone's going to tell him exactly what to do and not to do as far as recruiting goes? Could he convince you then, and again, maybe not Power 5, but could he convince you to then where you'd give him the job?
I think Power 5. A real school, no. I don't think so. I don't think a real school, no. I do believe some school that nobody's ever paid attention to, and I don't even mean San Jose State or small schools. I mean some school that nobody has paid attention to, that wants attention, that wants people to notice them. And he's a smart guy, and he's a good football guy. It's not like he doesn't know football. He's a very good, smart football guy. He's charismatic. I believe some small school will give him a chance. Hey, look, we're not much. We're not Oklahoma. We may be Oklahoma A&M. We may be Oklahoma Tech. We're not Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. We're not Tulsa. We're Oklahoma Tech. And we play Division III. We play Humboldt. But, I think somebody like that would offer him the job. I think somebody like that will offer him the job. And we'll see. We'll see if he winds up there
And
or
to
not.
Hayes' point, he would turn it down and say, no, I'm going to be the next FSU head coach.
Yeah, he's not going to toil in obscurity. This is not a man that wants to work hard and no one see it.
Yeah.
And that's what that job is. I mean, I give football coaches at that level a ton of credit, because they're making an impact. They're not getting a lot of money to do it. And I'm sure the hours they work are insane. I just don't think Deion Sanders fits that. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's fine if Deion Sanders wants to say that, I should be coaching LSU if Ogeron leaves. Or I mean, that's fine to say it. I just don't think there's any basis in reality of it actually coming true.
We will take a break. When we come back, I'm going to get to a little bit of hardball. Chris Bryant, did you see the news on him on his appeal?
Yeah, I did, and I think the Cubs screwed him. I really do. But they're not breaking the rules, but I don't like it.
We'll explain after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL. Anybody hear that? 1010XL. Fairly alarmed here. It's a
1010XL.
Hey, look, if you need an insurance agent, let me recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. You know that whole thing about how State Farm is there? Well, I could tell you stories. Bang up a car a little bit, Craig's there. Have an issue, Craig comes to the house. He really is that guy. He's got so many clients, but he always has room for you. He really is the best guy in town. I really believe that. State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him today, 940-9740.
Want to make this Valentine's the most romantic ever?
Diamonds Direct is ready to help with an expanded selection of the most popular and most romantic gifts. And starting Saturday for a limited time, you'll get Diamonds Direct's guaranteed lowest price plus 3 years zero interest financing. Fashion rings, hoop earrings, bangles, diamond bracelets, colored gemstone pendants, stackable rings, eternity bands, and yes, even certified diamond engagement rings. Just pick any item, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 36 months with zero interest. We've teamed up with the best jewelry designers in America who'll be joining us for special trunk show events showcasing all the latest styles and fashions. So whether you're just starting out in your relationship or been together for decades, you'll find that perfect gift to celebrate your love this Valentine's at Diamonds Direct. It all starts this Saturday with 3 years zero interest financing. Check out our online gift guide now and even shop online anytime at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct.
Think of a person who you like a lot. Now think about how good it would feel to do something nice for them, like a massage or a facial or a gift card from, I don't know, Massage Envy, where they can do either or both. You could give them this gift card any day of the year, like February 14th, for example. Wouldn't that be nice?
Give the gift of wellness this Valentine's Day with a Massage Envy gift card. Buy a $100 gift card and get a $25 promo card free now through February 14th at select franchise locations.
New year, new models, new deals during your First Coast Acura Dealers Upgrade event. Steal your deal today with aggressive, affordable lease and financing offers and bundle your savings with bonus opportunities for loyalty and conquest customers. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. Florida's winter is here, which means you'll never know if it's going to be cool or hot. So now is the perfect time to join McGowan's Cool Club, get a premium maintenance plan, and you'll have guaranteed peace of mind in case of unexpected AC repairs. For a limited time, when you like the McGowan's Facebook page, you'll receive $25 off paid repairs, plus you'll get monthly HVAC tips. Call my friends at McGowan's AC, the official heating and air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
License number CMC 1250075.
1010XL salutes the High School Scholar Athlete of the Week. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
Got a clogged drain or a problem with your sewer? Dial 6951911. Don't tell me, let me guess, call Metro Rooter. Dial 6951911 or MetroRooter.com.
Nobody likes to have plumbing problems at their home or business, but if you do, call Metro Rooter. We provide fast same-day service with the right parts and equipment on hand to get you up and running. For all your plumbing and septic tank needs, call the best. Just pick up the phone and dial
6951911 or MetroRooter.com.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab Crab House, once again voted the #1 crab shack in Northeast Florida. What about Sundays over there? You kidding me? $1.95 Bloody Marys, mimosas as well, up until 5 o'clock. Alex always playing live music right there on the deck. The best seafood in Jacksonville, the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been in Jacksonville for 23 years, right there on Julington Creek Road in San Jose. I'll see you at the Blue Crab Crab House.
Be a part of the city's only night ride and motorcycle giveaway. Join us Friday, February 7th for Legacy Law Enforcement Foundation's 15th annual Light the City Ride. This police-escorted ride benefiting local charities features a new route. Ride starts at our Adamak Harley-Davidson of Jacksonville location and ends with dinner from Carrabba's at our new St. Augustine dealership, where we'll be raffling off a 2020 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Get your ticket to ride today, in-store or online at AdamacHarley.com.
This is Dr. Chris Swanson. When your sports injuries flare up, come where athletes are treated like pros. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Verlin Dormany, head coach and athletic director of Trinity Christian Academy. We're proud of our relationship with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Take it from us at Trinity Christian. When you need orthopedic care, call on Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey sports fans, I'm Kate Hatfield, one of the car accident and injury attorneys of Hatfield & Hatfield. We want to say thank you to the moms, dads, and family members listening for their commitment and dedication day in and day out to enable the kids in your life to participate in youth sports. We apply this type of commitment and dedication to each of our clients. If you've been injured and need help, call us at 446-9990 or go to HatfieldESQ.com. HatfieldESQ.com.
Hey,
weekend here, and the cold is here too, and that means it's time to winterize your vehicle. And the best place to do that is with my friends at American Transmission. Right now at American Transmission, they're going to give you free battery checks, free brake inspections, free heating, free AC checks, so that your car or truck is in tip-top shape when you need it to be. And as always, they're giving you $200 off any major repair. Call them today, 396-3766, 396-3766, or go to AmericanTransmission.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Let's talk a little hardball here. So, by the way, give me breaking news on hardball. Give it to us, please.
Yeah, the Astros, who fired their general manager and manager, now have a new manager. Their new skipper is Dusty Baker, the veteran manager, 3-time manager of the year.
You know what I'm going to tell you right now is going to happen day one, opening day? You know what Dusty's going to be wearing? Sweatbands.
Oh, yeah.
Dusty will wear the sweatbands.
He'll rock those, won't he?
Yeah, you know, Dusty doesn't manage without the bands. He's got the big old thick sweatbands on his arm. I love that. Love Dusty Baker in the sweatbands. So Chris Bryant's an interesting story. If you follow this story or not, the Super 2 designation in baseball is teams will hold back a prospect until whatever day will keep him from getting that prospect from getting to free agency earlier. Okay, you want to keep that last year. In the case of Bryant, they waited till the very last day. That passed, and they brought him up. So his camp filed a grievance against the Cubs like his rookie year, right, Gibby? I think he filed a grievance then, right? So filed a grievance right away. It took 4 years to settle it.
4 years?
4 years. 4 years. They just decided it today. It was today. So, but if he'd have been brought up, I want to make sure I get this right. If 171 days, if he'd have been brought up on day 171, he would be a free agent now or after this year. They brought him up on day 172, which meant they get another year with him.
And a lot of teams use that.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
So, and that's why he lost the appeal. The grievance is because a lot of teams do it. And he said it was clear he had his huge year in AAA. He should have been brought up earlier. They held him back to maintain the rule. And so for that reason, now the Cubs control his rights for 2 more years rather than 1 more year. So that's what happened. But isn't that screwed up? Isn't the football CBA way better than that?
Yeah, I don't like that rule. I don't like that that the club can control that. It'd be the equivalent of the Jaguars' Yannick Ngakwe's rookie year played him
12 games instead of 13.
And because of that, it never counted to an accrued year for Ngakwe.
So it's 1 more year.
He's 1 more year, yeah.
That's a perfect example. It's 12 games instead of 13.
It's a joke. And in this case, it's even more penal for the baseball player because it's 6 years plus.
Right.
So for Chris Bryant, he will be 6 years and 171 games before he gets to free agency. That seems an astronomically long time.
171 days.
But
that's right. That's right.
Over 6 years.
Yeah, so it should be right at 6 years. He's got the extra 171 because that's because they took it right up to the wire, and teams do it a lot. So the Cubs aren't at fault.
No, the Cubs did what they should have done for the Cubs.
That's exactly right. And the rule's at fault, but it's a really dumb rule.
I'm just surprised it took 4 years because it seems fairly black and white. This is the rule. We adhered to it. It obviously benefits us. We're not going to make any bones about that.
Right. And I think they weren't in a hurry because he's 6 years from free agency anyway. But now it comes into play because the Cubs are trying to trade him. The Cubs don't want him. They want to trade him, but he's Chris Bryant. They want to get a haul for him. Well, here's why it really benefits the Cubs. They don't want him on their team, right? But now, with 2 years of control remaining, far more teams will trade for him. Gibby, don't you think? I've got to believe the Braves are back in play, don't you think?
Yeah, they have to be. And here's the other thing for the Cubs, and what benefits them is that now that they have an extra year of control of Chris Bryant, they can therefore now get more in return for Chris Bryant via trade.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad for Chris Bryant. The Cubs tried to sign him to a deal, from what I read, about $250 million, and he turned it down. So it's not like he's getting screwed in this process.
Yeah, no, he's not getting screwed by the Cubs.
Right,
He's getting screwed by the rule like they all do. So, but I agree with you.
Will that be a point of contention in their next
Absolutely.
dealings?
It'll be topic number 1, 2, or 3.
Yes, it will. But I will tell you, I'll say it again, I think he wins. Now Gibby is going to cost you prospects. Hang on. Gibby's going to cost you and Hayes prospects.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay.
God,
So I feel bad. I left you out of
been
that.
so insulted.
I know you should be. But it's going to cost. But isn't this the time? This is why the whole reason it's a topic for me is people follow the Braves around here. The Braves don't have a third baseman, but they are freaking loaded everywhere else. And I know the Nats won the World Series, and I know the Phillies at some point are going to be good. I know it's a potentially good division. The Mets have the great pitching, but I got to tell you now, Gibby, don't the Braves have to find a way to go get him? He wants to play for the Braves. The Cubs don't want him. The Braves when Donaldson left, they never filled the third base hole. It's the only hole left. Don't they have to go? Doesn't this have to happen now?
It does. The Braves have a gaping hole in their lineup at third base. Now, they tried to fill it with Marcell Ozuna, but he's playing in the outfield. He's not playing third base. They have Austin Riley and Johan Camargo, neither one who are ready-made guys that you can say day one, they're ready to contribute at a level that they need at that position, and Chris Bryant could. Chris Bryant could step in right now and be the third baseman of the Atlanta Braves when spring training and when the Major League Baseball season begins. The problem is, I don't know that the Braves are going to give up what it takes to get him.
Well, they're going to have to unload. You're going to have to unload the
they
bag,
are.
yeah.
And well, the thing is, and I would do it, because what's the point in keeping all these prospects if A, you can't bring them up and develop them, or B, you have all these prospects and you're not doing anything. You're not winning with the prospects. So
now's the time.
You have to do something. And the Braves, as an organizational philosophy, recently have signed a lot of guys to one-year big money deals. They haven't gone out and made a big trade like a Chris Bryant or a Nolan Arenado, which I wish they would do.
I don't feel good about Camargo either.
You don't know.
No. Yeah, I don't feel good about it. I mean, obviously, this is you got to make this happen. Hopefully, they will. And Gibby's right. Who cares about the farm?
Well, especially
how
now.
about win the World Series?
Correct. See, that's the whole point. Is you've got enough money. The Braves aren't afraid to spend. You're a prominent team. Okay, so you're going to make a lot of money. The Braves are going to make a lot of local money. And the reason you have that big farm is to make a move when it's time. It's now time. So I think you got to unload it, Gibby. I agree with you. I think it's going to cost you some good prospects. I mean, the Braves are loaded.
They have 5. We talked about this yesterday. The teams that have the most prospects, according to MLB.com, their top 100. The Braves have 5 in the top 100. That's second behind only the Rays, who have 6.
So how many send 3 of the 5 to the Cubs? That get it done?
That would probably be a minimum, yeah.
Let me ask a potentially dumb question. Instead of going out and spending a ton of money to get Chris Bryant, why don't you try and pluck off a top prospect that is a third baseman?
Well, I mean, you mean like a guy that hadn't been in the bigs yet?
Has played AAA, but hasn't.
Because it's not a dumb question, but you're trying to win right now. They're the best AAA third baseman of all time. Isn't going to hit like Chris Bryant's going to hit.
Well, to your question, Lauren, the top prospect who plays third base is Austin Riley, and they're trying to make it work, and he can't hit a slider.
Yeah, but what Lauren's saying is why not go get the Yankees top prospect
instead of having to give up your prospect.
But you still have to give up something to get him. But this is the move now. There's times when you've got to move. The Cubs will trade him to the Braves. They're not in the same division. You only play him 7 times. The Cubs will trade him to the Atlanta Braves. That is the move. And, you've got to unload your prospects. You really have to do it. But the Braves, here's the other thing. The Braves have enough money that they can stay good. See, the Rays right now would make that deal. Because if the Rays were in play, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rays make that deal. The Rays aren't any good at third base either, and they have a good team. So the Rays are a team that could get Chris Bryant because now's their time. And you're only going to have him 2 years. Well, the Rays aren't going to be good in 2 or 3 years anyway because the small market teams can't sustain. So I would not be surprised to see the Rays make the move here because the Rays have a very good outfield, but especially when they got Bledsoe or Renfroe rather from the Padres. The Rays are no good at third base. So I wouldn't be surprised. Gibby, would you be surprised if Tampa Bay went after him?
No, and I would not. And here's another team for you. I don't know how sold the Yankees are on what they have at third base. They have Gio Urshela, who was a guy that came through and has played a while in the minor leagues and just kind of came onto the scene. But is that who you're going to trust on opening day? The Yankees could go after him, and of course the Yankees would go after Chris Bryant.
Yeah. So who the Rays going to play? Robertson? Who's going to be their opening day third baseman? Nobody.
Yandy Diaz.
He probably would be the third baseman this year, wouldn't he? Yeah. But I'm telling you, the Braves are the time. I'm telling you, Gibby, I'm trying to help you and Hayes. I know the time Hayes spends grinding over the off season. The winter meetings, he doesn't get any sleep during the winter.
I mean, this whole Bryant thing has been just a living hell. A living hell. The man had 31 home runs, 35 doubles, and 108 runs last year. He needs to be a Brave.
And he hit 300, didn't he?
He hit 282.
Okay, so he did hit 300. So, but he's a good defensive player. I mean, so we got to make this happen. So look, I'm trying to help the Braves. I'm trying to help you guys. Okay, so
I appreciate it.
Gibby, you're going to see some spring training games, right?
Yeah, I'll ask him about Chris Bryant. Why have we not made the trade? If the trade is not done on February 22nd or before then, I'm going to ask the question, why is he not here? Yeah, I'm going to see the Braves and the Orioles on opening day of spring training.
Yep.
That'll be February 22nd, and then the next day going to see the Rays and the Yankees.
How about the fact that February 22nd they're playing games? They never used to play games till March 1st for like forever.
Right.
I mean, before long, they're going to be playing spring training games. They're going to go opposite the Super Bowl, and baseball is going to start March 1st. It's amazing how early it's gotten. It's gone earlier than ever.
But they've had issues with weather. That's the problem.
Yeah,
when they've been starting so much earlier.
But you know why they do it? They want no doubleheaders, which I think which is a crime, because doubleheaders are one of the greatest pieces of Americana ever. But they want no doubleheaders. The greedy owners want those 81 dates. They want 81 gates. That's it. Back in the day, and even before my time, because by the time I started watching baseball, it was changing. But my dad would tell me, my uncles would tell me, you'd have 20 scheduled doubleheaders a year, and so you could play those 162 games in 5 months. That's all different. I mean, you ever been to a doubleheader? You ever been to a major league doubleheader?
Nope.
Gibby, you ever been to a doubleheader?
I have. Yeah, I've been to a couple actually.
They're the greatest, and I don't mean day-nighters. I mean, because those are two gates. I mean that the doubleheader play. 20 minutes, play again. It's the best thing. It's the best thing.
Do a jumbo shrimp doubleheader.
Yeah, so that counts. That counts. But I mean, it's great. I mean, you go and but in between games when you eat and you drink, and it's awesome.
Have you ever gone to like two different sporting events in the same day, like two different leagues? Like, you ever done that? One of my favorite trips as a kid was we would go to a Braves game in the afternoon and a Falcons preseason game at night.
That's awesome.
It was freaking awesome.
No, I've never. I would love that. I've never done that.
One time we went tarpon fishing, which counts as a sport. Then I went down to Gainesville and saw the Gators play.
I'm counting
that. I thought that was the greatest day of my life. My dad caught a tarpon, and then Florida won at night. It was a cupcake.
That is a great.
It was phenomenal.
That might have been the greatest day of my life. You're exactly right about that. Hey, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to get it back to football a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about Gardner Minshew. He's making his rounds. How much has he grown his profile? Is he overexposed? Is it just right? Gardner he did the RV trip. He's down at the Super Bowl now. I'll be with Peter King tomorrow. We'll talk more about that when we continue. This is 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Now, Studio Talk with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
Mornings on 1010XL.
And totally redeem yourself.
92.5 FM.
It's a new year and Claude Nolan Cadillac is celebrating. Stop in today and test drive the all-new 2020 Cadillac CT5 sedan. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months and $1,500 on most Cadillac 2020 models. Save money and celebrate you. Start your year off in a new Claude Nolan Cadillac. Visit Claude Nolan Cadillac on Southside Boulevard or go to ClaudeNolanCadillac.com. Beginning lasting relationships since 1905. See dealer for details.
To me, the most important word in the world is dignity. There are certain God-given rights to be fed, to have shelter, medicine, and clothing. When many of our clients come to us, they face the great risk of losing much of what they have. In some cases, losing everything. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In one instant, an accident, a natural disaster, or the intentional acts of others can threaten our dignity. Whether it's the loss of a paycheck, paying medical bills, enduring a life of pain and suffering, or a claim with your own insurance company, or a business dispute, and you can't afford to pay a lawyer by the hour. Your dignity hangs in the balance. You only pay us if we recover for you. Let my firm fight for you, your family, and your dignity. Call us for a free consultation. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone. That's pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Offices, Jacksonville.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and find your right fit. At Edwin Watts, they take customer service to a whole new level. Not only do they fit for clubs, they take pride in servicing customers throughout the entire store. They'll help you find the right shoes, bags, gloves, balls, apparel, and more. At Edwin Watts, you'll find name brand equipment at guaranteed lowest prices every day. So buy it, try it, they know you'll like it because Edwin Watts help you find the right equipment. Visit Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
The 1010XL restaurant of the day is Flame Broiler. For a healthy lunch alternative as low as $6 that includes chicken or Angus beef piled on top of rice and veggies, stop by one of their 4 Jacksonville locations today. Simple, fast, healthy. Flame Broiler.
Hey, Hicken here, and if you're like me, I'm getting ready for the big game. I'm going to call my friends at Zero Res. They'll come clean up the carpets, the area rugs, the sofa everybody took a nap on over the holiday. If you're hosting a party for the big game, call Zero Res and have 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129. And if you mention me, Dan, you get your bathroom tile cleaned for free. Call Zero Res at 287-5727. That's 287-5727. Zero Res, gang. It's the right way to clean.
I'm Lauren Brooks, and you won't find a better deal to keep your ride clean than Scrubble's flexible service car wash at the St. John's Town Center and in Fleming Island. Start in the tunnel wash and experience state-of-the-art equipment while enjoying a soapy light show. Our quality soaps and solutions keep your vehicle streak-free. Every 3-minute car wash package comes with self-serve vacuuming with lint-free towels and window cleaner and a free air freshener. Come visit Scrubbles at the St. John's Town Center or Fleming Island. And remember, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Stream Song, the ultimate buddy golf experience. 3 nights, 3 courses, 1 extraordinary golf experience. With the Stream Song Tour Package, you'll play 3 of the most highly acclaimed and widely pursued courses in the game today. Stream Song Black, Red, and Blue. The package includes 3 nights luxury guest room accommodation, 1 round on Stream Song Red, Blue, and Black, breakfast each day, and your choice of restaurants. To book your Stream Song Tour Package, please call 855-329-1936.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about first-class service. From the first phone call to the final inspection, Superior Fence and Rail's professional team delivers with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior Fence and Rail is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville, and it all starts with their professional team. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Living a good life is knowing your health is wealth. Good Feeling Easy Healing CBD encourages all athletes and active people to prepare your body for a better recovery. Our products promote the positive state of well-being. You can achieve this balance by experiencing our premium, all-natural CBD products. Use your favorite big game team special promo code SanFran2020 or KC2020 to receive 10% off your total purchase today at GoodFeelingEasyHealing.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by The Best Bet. We'll find out Saturday if Tony Baselli makes the class of 2020 for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Pete Prisco, a guest of the Frangie Show, believes this could be the year.
I get the real feel on Tony this year. I think this is the year. I really do. If he doesn't get it, I will be astounded. I pounded these voters for the last 2 weeks. Everyone I bumped into, and everyone's leaning that way. So I think this is the year Baselli gets it.
The selection committee will meet on Saturday afternoon. They will decide on Saturday night. It'll find out 9 o'clock on Fox in the NFL Honors Show coming up this weekend. At 4:58, right now 56 degrees. Your time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. More Jaguars talk coming up on The Frangie Show.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Here, that means it's time for more football. Football at 5.
5 o'clock somewhere.
On the Frangie Show.
You know, I think I've kind of found my people in Jacksonville. Just the right amount of white trashiness for me. So we're having a great time down there and loving it.
Gardner Minshew earlier today. Right amount of white trashiness down there. You don't like that comment. You're bowed up over there, aren't you?
I'm not bowed up. I think there are several other phrases you could use to get your point across, and I think he chose a phrase that I don't think is the best to describe Jacksonville. That's all. I think he could have chosen several others.
I think he's kind of just having some fun.
For sure he's just
I'm
having
going to
some
take that
fun.
as he was saying they're regular folk. I'm going to say
And
that
blue collar, I think, is a better way to say it.
I'm going to say, well, he was trying to get a laugh. Nobody's better at going for the laugh than Gardner. Gardner knows how to go for the laugh, right?
And I think he's lumping himself in.
Yeah, he is
on the white trash. But yeah, it's probably not the best thing to say. But if there's anybody that can get away with saying it, it is this man from Mississippi with the bandana and the jorts and the beard.
Understand, if he'd have said blue collar, nobody would have laughed. He was going for the laugh, and so the white trashiness is going for the laugh, and so and I do think he meant down home folk. I think that's what he meant. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt there. I love the fact that we being the Jaguars, our city though, has somebody out there that everybody adores. I think that's a really cool thing. I also think he's a good guy, and I've said this 1,000 times. Don't ever take lightly what he did. 21 touchdowns and 6 picks in a league you've never played in. That NFL's good. That's a good league. Those cornerbacks are fast. The pass rushers are fast. On a flawed team to win 6 games and to have 21-6 touchdown pass to interception ratio is pretty freaking amazing. Hayes, that's one thing everybody says. If he was a first-round draft pick and he did this, everybody would be talking about the 10 years of promise, right? So, but do you get to a point where you're too exposed? Is that because I don't think he's there. In fairness, I don't think he's there yet. And the Jaguars very wisely look. It's going to be hard to market the Jaguars around here, even though I think Jaguar fans love their Jaguars. There's been some tough years. It's been a tough go of it a little bit here. So I just